Welcome to This Sacred Life in the Divine Feminine Spotlight. I'm Shan Vanderleek, founder of transformationgoddess.com and producer of the Goddess Talk sessions. Every month, I share transformational conversations with women who have learned to walk in beauty with the strength, courage, and pleasure of reclaiming their feminine sovereignty. Women all over the world are rising up to have their voices heard and to be treated with respect. I like to give each of their voices a platform to speak their truth and inspire our listeners to do the same. And today it's my honor to introduce you to Linda Joy. Chances are, if you've been listening to this podcast or following my work, you already know Linda. We've been friends for a very long time. Linda is passionate about supporting heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and authors in busting through the fear of visibility while providing a high-profile media and publishing platform for them to step into the spotlight. Linda passionately believes in the power within every woman and that all things are possible when you learn to embrace your fears. She is the publisher of Aspire magazine, a wildly popular visibility catalyst, and best-selling publisher. Today, we're going to be discussing Linda's new book, Shine, Stories to Inspire You to Dream Big, Fear Less, and Blaze Your Own Trail. Welcome, Linda.
Well, hello, beautiful. I'm always eager to circle up with you.
Oh my gosh, it's really, really nice to share some time with you today and to talk about your latest and greatest fantastic book. I love that you've put another collection of, 24 feminine leaders together in one beautiful book, all about taking off their masks and stopping playing small, which so many of us do, and shining. I remember when you told me about the title. Gosh, it's probably been a year ago, and I just thought, wow, what a great, great title. Let's talk about how you came up with that title.
As you know, Shan, because we've known each other intimately for many years. Back, I think, 2009. So almost.
Yeah.
Wow, time flies, doesn't it, my beautiful?
Yeah, it's our anniversary coming up.
Yes, it is. Happy anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I in a lot of the work that I do, what I bring to the world is usually a reflection of some type of my own journey. So last year, in fact, on my 55th birthday, which is in late October, I had my own epiphany about how I was hiding my light. In fact, it was during my birthday ritual, sitting on a Cape Cod beach. It's a ritual I do every year, that I had that soul epiphany of how I was hiding in my business and a couple other areas of my life. And the reaction from most people in my global community were like, what? What do you mean you're hiding? You're everywhere. You're the publisher of Aspire. You have a radio show. How can you say you're hiding? The thing is, Shan, it doesn't matter how other people perceive us, right? I realized that day sitting on the beach that my soul knew my truth. And I had been really comfortable in certain areas of my life. So on that day, it began this inner shift within me to step into what became and is now known as sacred visibility. About a month after that, maybe 2 months, I was led to birth the next book in the Inspired Living Publishing, series of sacred anthologies. And I knew the title had to be Shine. There were so many women in my community and coaching circles that were struggling with the same thing. The desire to be authentic and connect, but at the same time, they not wanting to feel vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, the woman that stepped forward into Shine, their stories blew me away. Little did I know that when I chose that title and the birth date, which was October 10th of 2018, that Shine would be born at a time when in the country and the world when all women are being asked to shine, to no longer dim their light or smother their voice.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, your timing, just talk about divine timing. I just remember just cracking up thinking, yep, there she goes again.
And it was all intuitive. Do you see?
Of
my
course.
truth and my path always fuels my work. It helps me choose the projects I want to birth. And the stories, women who just said, I'm done. They just woke up one day like I did and made a choice, and they decided it was more painful to keep their true self hidden in the dark than it was to shine as brightly as they desired. And in that moment, everything changed for them. Just
So
as
how about for you, Linda? What process did you go through personally to summon the courage to step out and shine? Because like you said, you were already doing a lot of things. You had that soul knowing at the beach. What were the first few things that you did to kind of bust out of it?
Well, the first thing I did, and I think it was about October, 2 days after my birthday, I actually posted that soul moment on Facebook. It was a really intimate Facebook post, and it said, "Unexpected lessons learned during my birthday ritual." And it was a really deep, intimate post. It's something I've always shared authentically with my community, but this was really real, raw, and vulnerable. And I shared my truth about hiding. And the reason I decided to share and post it on Facebook, because I didn't want to go back into my little hermit cave, right? I didn't want to pull back after the soul epiphany.
Right.
And I announced that I was stepping into sacred visibility, and I didn't know what that meant. And yes, I was afraid, and as they all are, as anyone is, when they're going to break out of their comfort zone. So the first thing I did was declare it. Now, as you know, Shan, when you declare it and you believe it, the universe starts to open the doors to really kind of test you. And
right.
Within 5 weeks, the owners of Om Times magazine saw a video I did about sacred visibility. And as I said, the message was only 4 weeks old for myself. And they said, "This is a message that we want you to share as the cover feature of Om Times this coming February," which was February of 2018. So here I am, a visibility catalyst. Every single trigger got triggered. So between October, when I had the epiphany on the beach, and February, when that issue came out, I went through such a deep, healing, painful, exciting, inner transformation. And I must have picked up that phone in full transparency a dozen times to say, "No, give the exposure in the cover to someone else." So every trigger that I help my clients go through, I faced.
Yeah.
And then as this year has unfolded, as I said, my birthday's in a few days, I really stepped into the Sacred Visibility message, and I'll actually be hosting the first Sacred Visibility Live in early November in Rhode Island, and have a couple dozen entrepreneurs flying in from all over the country who are ready, who want to learn to lead with feminine principles, grow their business, share their light and their message using feminine principles.
Wow.
And it all started because I trusted that message I received on the beach. The other changes I've made in my life is I'm living more intentionally now. I'm looking at every project, every brand that I own, which are many, as you know, and looking at each one and saying, is this coming with me in 2019? We just right-sized our home from 3,000 square feet, and we're just moved into a tiny cottage of 400 square feet. Temporarily, let me say that.
Right.
While we build our right-sized home of about, I think it's about 1,600 square feet. So lots of 2019 is about intentional living in my business and in my life. And it all comes down because of this message of sacred visibility, being seen, being authentic, and creating a life based in business, based on my deepest desires, not what others say it should be as a business owner.
Right. Well, congratulations on everything that's come together for you in 2018. I look forward to seeing what unfolds in 2019. Let's come back and talk a little bit more about Shine. And could you give us an overview of the book and what our listeners and readers can expect when they do read it? Because I know you've got some great authors involved. And then I love how you have dedicated chapters, like sing your own song and go your own way. And maybe you can just lay it out for us a little bit more.
Well, one of the things with Inspired Living Publishing is we have a series of sacred anthologies, and we walk authors through our authentic storytelling process. So this is so much more than just stories in a book. These women had to go through a deep transformational writing process where they were invited actually to share and write a story about the moment, about the pivotal moment in which they decided to shine their light as brightly as they did. Now, it was a moment in their life that they either decided to take off their mask and stop playing small in their relationship, their missions, their health, or their work. Every story is different, but the essence is that each of them has gone through an inner transformation, whether that moment was big or small. Each moment in their life triggered this landslide of transformation. So in the stories, they are sharing really intimate and sometimes painful moments to inspire other women to believe in their dreams, to believe that their fears are not there to stop them, they're just there to redirect them. So these 24 women, I'll tell you, they blew me away by their honesty, by their courage to share their truth, right? Because I don't know about you, Shan, but all my life, and this is why I started this type of publishing company, all my life I've been drawn to stories of women who have overcome obstacles, stories of women who have transformed. It's almost like the phoenix coming from the ashes, right? That we all think.
Right.
When you read these stories, you're like, if she can do this, whatever it may be that she's writing about, then who am I to believe that I can't? Right? So
Yeah, it gives us all, it opens the door for all of the readers to be able to follow through and to shine in their own way and to step forward and say, my goodness, if this person can do it. And that's like, listening to you talk and share your story about stepping up and some other of the authors that are a part of Shine, that if people already know them, they think, what? They're already doing all of these things and they're already shining brightly. But to get back behind that message and that story and that catalyst is so powerful. It does. It gives us all permission to take another step forward towards our dreams.
Oh, that's the word too. What I hear a lot, that word permission is a big one, I think, for women. And I can only speak from my truth and, the truth of the 24 women who entrusted me with their sacred soul stories and Shine, right? But so many of us in our conversations when we did group calls, they felt that they had lived with shoulds and have-tos for so long. And isn't that true for all of us, Shan?
Oh, yeah.
And this is a wide range of ages. I'd say from early 30s into late 60s. And it was a universal message of, I'm done hiding. I'm done hiding my truth, smothering my voice. I want to shine. And everyone's way of shining is completely different, right? And that's the beautiful part. For many of them, they were always told, oh, you're too much, you're too loud. So they made themselves smaller to fit in. And maybe it was in a relationship, or maybe they got too comfortable letting others set the parameters of their lives. I know I've been there. And even though their reasons were different, their reasons for playing small were different, the results were the same. The light dimmed and they smothered the essence of their true self.
As you know, Linda, I can relate. And having spent many, many years trying to contain my energy and, I've been described, I don't even know how many times in my life, as a force of nature, right? And that made people uncomfortable for a long time. And it took my own work, rituals, and awakening to realize that, that's just bullshit. I'm not going to make myself small for anybody anymore at all. And if my energy takes up this whole house, takes up this whole block, takes up this whole county, so be it. That's just the way that it is.
Exactly.
And having over the years written for you, and been part of several of your best-selling books, those stories, I know what that process feels like, and getting to the end result and then being a part of sharing with the world. And so it's just fantastic that you've brought this forward. And so let's talk a little bit more about the book and what our listeners and readers can expect when they read it.
Well, Shanna, one of the signature aspects of the book, the anthologies that Inspire Living Publishing publishes, is that each chapter, each woman's intimate, which I call sacred soul stories, is followed by 3 journaling prompts, reflection points. Each of those points are related to that woman's story. Because here's what I personally believe. I don't want someone just to read one of my author stories and go, oh, what a beautiful story. No, 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 because it's too easy to turn the page when something's being triggered in you from that woman's story.
Right.
I want that trigger to come, whether it's hope, joy, jealousy, whatever it may be. When something is triggered, there's a healing moment. So immediately after each story are 3 journaling prompt questions to get you to dive deeper into the essence of the lessons and wisdom of that woman's story. Because I believe that when we dive deeper into that trigger, into that moment, there's healing that can happen. So that has been one of our signature processes. So this is I don't know, I'd like to say our anthologies are a sacred journey for the reader as well. And as you shared at the beginning, there's 24 empowering stories from some pretty extraordinary women, visionary leaders, coaches, therapists, healers, and more who share their wisdom and shine.
Those journaling prompts are so incredibly powerful and such an important part of the experience. It allows you to not only dive in on your own, but have even more of a kinship with the author. And as you know, over the years of producing these, there are going to be certain stories that readers really come home to somebody's heart. It might be all of them, but usually there's a handful that really speak to the reader and they can dig deeper. And that part of the experience is huge because then that shift begins to happen. And then before you know it, all of your readers are shining just as much as your authors are shining. It's just so beautiful.
And that, what you just shared really resonates with me because that was the intent and vision when I started the anthology division of Inspired Living Publishing, right? It's really about one word, one sentence, one paragraph, touching a woman's heart.
Yes.
And as I've shared with my authors, a story or one of the author's stories, there is a woman who right now may be experiencing her deepest, darkest day. And it's that author's story, which is the catalyst for her to believe and hope for another moment, right?
Yes,
to believe in
without
the power
question.
of possibility. I have found that over and over again, and the feedback that our authors have received over the last, 9 years since I started the company, that is the words that they hear. Basically, you don't know what your story did in one of my darkest days, or you gave me hope that in the middle of this transformation I'm going through or this transition, there is light on the other side. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right. Well, and I love how you say that each of us is a supernova in disguise, a brilliant light that can illuminate the world. That is just incredibly powerful and so true. It's whether our listeners right now can believe that or not, I promise you this is the truth. And that's why Linda is, on the planet, amongst other things, to help you with your visibility and to help you shine. And I'd like us to talk a little bit about that, Linda. You call yourself a visibility catalyst. Explain what that means to you.
Well, it's been an unfolding. That name was given to me about 4 years ago, and I didn't own it, Shan. I didn't step into it, right? I look at it as what I do for a living is my honor and my gift. And what that is for the last probably 9 years, I've been working with private clients, authors, to get their message, wisdom, and their brand in front of a global audience. How do I do that? I do it because I own multiple inspirational media brands, which just came to be birthed through me. I never meant to create all of this. So it was really birthing the magazine, the book publishing, and having the radio show and other brands that I have. I realized, wait a minute, I've been blessed with such a powerful media platform that speaks to women on the path of personal and spiritual development, that who am I not to help visionary entrepreneurs who can change lives with their messages and missions, products and services? Who am I not to use my platform for that?
Right.
So about probably 6 years ago, I really started working a lot more deeply with private clients to increase their visibility in front of their aligned audience. But here's what sets me apart, Shan. I do it using feminine principles. I am a heart-centered marketer. I believe that love, service, intention, collaboration, community are the keys to the new paradigm in business and in life. So everything I do as a visibility catalyst to help heart-centered female entrepreneurs get their message out there are based on those principles. And it gets results. And that's what I feel blessed to be doing. Imagine the ripple effect of serving so many of these heart-centered entrepreneurs who are now being seen. Now their message goes out. It is changing lives because they all have their own beautiful, unique gifts.
Right.
I feel blessed to use my media platform this way.
Well, and you have just this beautiful circle of integrity, and when you set your heart and mind to something and then get out of your way, it's just so fun to watch you manifest it. Having done so for so many years, it's fantastic. Let's talk about how our listeners and readers can get a copy of Shine.
Well, thank you for asking, Shan. They can go to shine-book.com and order a copy. And when you do, make sure you go back to that webpage and enter your email address, because we have a whole array of transformational gifts from our authors, our sacred launch partners, for a limited time only. So shine-book.com.
Fantastic. Linda, is there anything else you'd like to leave us with today before we carry on and move on with our day?
The only piece of wisdom I really want to share is something that I've been really embracing myself for the last 10 years, that your past does not define your future. And a lot of us, we look back on our past and go, well, I couldn't do what Linda's doing or what Shan's doing or what so-and-so does because this is my past. So not true. You define your future. Your thoughts and actions do. Just keep believing in the possibility, power of possibility, and keep shining your light in your own unique way. The world needs you to shine bright, my beautiful friends.
Hear, hear. Thanks so much for sharing a part of your day with me, Linda, and happy birthday to you, and congratulations on selling your home and moving to the next phase of your life in this beautiful new home that you'll be building, and learning how to live in the tiny cottage for a little bit until you do. That's going to be fun. I look forward to hearing those stories. And I think it's so fantastic too, Linda, that you're just, right around the corner, or you're going to be right next door to the home that you've lived in for the last 18 years. So it's neat that you're having this experience right now while doing everything else that you're bringing forward into the world. It's really cool.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me here today.
Absolutely. Linda Joy is passionate about supporting heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and authors in busting through their fear of visibility while providing a high-profile media and publishing platform for them to step into the spotlight. You can get a copy of Shine at shine-book.com. And while you're there, be sure that you get a bonus gift bundle that includes dozens of transformational gifts. You make your purchase, come back, drop in your email, and voila, it's that easy. Thanks for listening to This Sacred Life and the Divine Feminine Spotlight. Visit transformationgoddess.com to claim our album of guided relaxations for women who do too much. And while you're there, check out our latest articles, book reviews, and resources for your goddess journey.